Hey Warriors, this is Mr. Coelho with your Lesson 3 Essential Questions tutorial. In this video, I'm going to go over the new layout of our essential questions, as well as do a walkthrough of the first question with you, that you will also do with me, and give you a nice little setup to do the second question on your own. So first thing, our essential questions, mine are already open in front of me. I went to my assignments and opened them up. You'll notice that it's a little different. It's a Word document now. It's not a PowerPoint. We're doing this to kind of have everything nice and streamlined all in one little spot. So what you'll see is you have your success criteria, you have your questions, some new templates to help you create sentences, and an area to record your response. And that is there twice for both questions. So let's start off with the beginning of our essential questions, our criteria, and then we'll go ahead and do the first question together. So our criteria. Use the sentence template to organize your thoughts. Use IQIA to make sure you're answering the question. Use 2-3 vocab words per response. All words should be your own, no copying and pasting. And use examples from our class readings, labs, and investigations. And I'm going to point out some resources that you can use so that you don't have to use a Google response, copy and paste it from the internet, and then end up getting a 0 on it because you're copying and pasting. It's plagiarism. We don't want that. So our first question, what is light? So we're going to explain the properties of light, and we're going to compare and contrast the properties of light to sound. And how are they the same or different? So remember, we learned about waves starting off with sound, and now we're moving into light. We're going to see how are they the same and how are they different. So I'm going to show you how to use this little sentence template here. And one thing I'm going to point out right away, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the link to it, is the resources located in the example box. So the resources are there for you to look at them, to find information, and to use them as examples in your typing. So I'm going to go ahead and open up what probably is the most important one, which is the Light Waves reference sheet. So remember, when I open up stuff on Teams, I right-click it, open up the link. As it's opening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split screen by taking my Teams, dragging it over to the left, and try that one more time. Take it to the left, and I'm going to click on that link on the right-hand side. So here is the Light Wave reference sheet. So it's a collection of all our readings so that you don't have to go through your book. You can still go through your book if you want to, but it's a collection of all the information that's going to help you answer these questions. Excuse me. So let's start off with our first sentence, our opening sentence. So the stem we have is light is blank. So we got to say what light is. So in our first little paragraph here on our reference sheet, starts off with light, probably going to tell us what light is. Light is neither matter nor energy. Light is a type of wave. Light is electromagnetic radiation that you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because I feel like it's already told me what light is. So light is a type of wave. It's a type of electromagnetic wave. And it's not matter and it's not energy. So I'm going to move over to my sentence template. I'm going to highlight this little underlined section here. And I'm going to go ahead and start typing that. I'm going to say light is a type of electromagnetic radiation or wave that is not matter or energy. Okay, so there's my first sentence. So I have 2-3 vocab words, and I've also taken some of the words and I paraphrase it, put it into my own words, and now move on to sentence number 2. So sentence 2, the properties of light are blank, and this is the same or different as sound waves because blank. So I'm looking for the properties of light and trying to explain how they're the same or different. So I'm going to use that skimming technique that I've gone over before. I'm going to skim for those words of properties, and I'm going to look for information. So the properties of light are blank. So electromagnetic spectrum, looking for properties, don't really see it. Properties of light. This is probably going to tell me what I want to know. So properties of light. A light wave is just like a mechanical wave. It has a wavelength and a frequency. Okay, so remember, sound waves are mechanical waves. And in my sentence, I'm supposed to say, how are light waves or the properties of light waves the same or different from sound waves? So right here it tells me it's just like a mechanical wave. It's just like a sound waves in that it has a excuse me, it has a wavelength and a frequency. So I'll say the properties of light are wavelength, oh wow, can't type today, frequency, and this is the same slash different. What it says is just like a mechanical wave. So we'll say it is the same as sound wave because, well, sound waves have the same thing. Sound waves also have a wavelength and frequency. Damn, this is pretty simple so far. Okay, so I'm already 2 sentences in. I still haven't Googled anything. We're on the right track here. Excuse me, getting a little tickle in my throat. All right, so moving on to our third sentence. The energy of light is related to blank, and this is the same or different than sound wave because, so now we need to talk about how energy affects a wave. Energy affects a light wave. We've talked about how it affects a sound wave before. If you remember, sound waves have to do with how loud they are, so the more energy means a louder sound, but also how it affects the properties. So let's look for a section on energy. Let's read it, and let's pull some information from that. So scrolling down, sound versus light, energy. There we go. It's like it's designed to help you out. So the relationship between energy and other wave properties is different for mechanical waves and electromagnetic waves. So right away, it's telling you that when it comes to energy, light waves, which are electromagnetic, and sound waves, which are mechanical, are different. So we already know that they're different. So when we go back to our sentence, we're going to say it's different, but we know why. So the energy of a mechanical wave is related to its amplitude. A water wave, for example, with a high amplitude has a lot of energy. The energy of the electromagnetic wave is related to its frequency, not amplitude. As the frequency of an electromagnetic wave increases, the energy of the wave increases. Okay. So it says that the energy of the light wave is related to the what? It says the energy of an electromagnetic wave, remember, light is a type of electromagnetic wave, is related to its frequency, not its amplitude, okay? So the energy of a light wave is related to its frequency. And this is the same slash different. Well, that first sentence tells us that it's different. It's different from sound waves because it tells us that the energy of a sound wave is related to its what? It says the energy of a mechanical wave, which is a sound wave, is related to its amplitude. So remember that's how high or low it gets, or the distance it goes from rest position to its amplitude. Okay, very good. Excuse me. Allergies. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about too many mistakes right now. So last thing I got to do is an example. So an example of a light wave or an example of an electromagnetic wave. So this is where your other resource comes into play. And this video, once I open it up, you're going to see is a video that you already watched the other day in class. Once it loads, it's going to be all about those different types of electromagnetic waves and what they're used for, okay?
Visible light allows you to see the various colors on screen. However, light is just...
So I'm going to pause it there because we've seen the video before. So I'm going to go ahead and pull an example that I know exists. It's an example of an electromagnetic wave. It's not necessarily light. So an example I learned is that what we'll say is light is a part of the electromagnetic, wow. Light is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which also includes things like, I'll go back to the video real quick.
Just one small part of a broad range of waves called the electromagnetic spectrum. At one end of the spectrum are waves that have long
I'm going to fast forward a
wavelengths,
little bit.
types. Radio waves are used for communication. They have wavelengths that range from 30 centimeters to a kilometer or more. The microwaves you use in a microwave oven to cook food have wavelengths between 1 millimeter and 30 centimeters.
So I'm just going to go ahead and include radio waves and microwaves. Okay, so I have my sentence template all complete. So now what I have to do for my final response is combine your sentences from the template into the space below. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and combine all of these. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so I can see it all to make one nice little response. So I'll say light, starting with that opening sentence, light is a type of electromagnetic radiation or wave that is not matter or energy. Sentence number 2, the properties of light are wavelength and frequency, and this is the same as sound waves because sound waves also have a wavelength and frequency. Sentence number 3, the energy of a light wave is related to its frequency, or to the frequency, I should say. And this is different from sound waves because the energy of a sound wave is related to its amplitude. And our last sentence, an example I learned is light is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which also includes things like radio waves. Wow, Mr. C cannot type. And microwaves. Okay. Gonna need a little. Okay, perfect. Get out of here. Get out of here, you. Okay. So I've used my template. I use IQIA. I use my vocab words. I made the words my own. And I put it all in a nice little response. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do the same thing for question number 2. Use this sentence template. Use the YouTube videos, the examples, the resources, and the light waves reference sheet that you should already have open, and go ahead and create your second response. All right, warriors. Hopefully this is a little more streamlined, a little bit easier for you. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's just looking up info and filling in the blanks, okay? So good luck, and we'll see you on Tuesday.